BackstageAxxess.com. We are here at the new Forum Gun Arena, which was the Forum Gun Arena. Now it's a Quickens Loan Arena. But we're here with guys in Buckcherry. We're here with Keith. Keith, how you doing, man?
How's it, Gus?
Good to see you. Xavier, how you doing, man? And these guys were great enough to have us backstage to talk to them before they were going to take the stage here with Nickelback and 3 Days Grace. So I have to ask, since we're in Cleveland, do you guys actually know where the stage is?
We have found the stage. It's funny though that this gets so much attention from the Spinal Tap movie being lost under the stage.
We're under, so you know. Have you checked out the stage yet?
Yeah, once. I actually found it, and it's cool.
All right. These guys are out promoting all night long their new CD. It's great. You guys have to check it out. If you guys haven't gotten it yet, definitely go out and grab yourself a copy. It's on 11/7 Music. Was there something that you guys want to do different with the CD that you guys haven't done with the last couple CDs?
Well, I think sonically we wanted to take it up a notch. Just first and foremost, the way the record sounds, and I think also we had been on tour with so many arena rock bands, legendary arena rock bands over the last couple of years that was definitely a theme kind of running through a lot of the songwriting was, big anthem type songs.
Take us through the recording process of All Night Long. How did you guys, how did the ideas come about? How did the recording process come about?
Mostly, Keith and Josh do most of the writing, and everybody, once we get into a room, we kind of do our thing, and everybody adds their flavors and stuff. And a lot of it was created along the way of the recording process. So, ideas were really fresh, and they were hidden, and we just kind of ran with it.
Marty Fredrickson was the producer, as he was on the last couple, and you co-produced on this one, Keith. Tell us how about balancing guitar and co-producing. How did that all work out?
Well, I like to think of Marty as kind of almost like a sixth member of the band. Marty kind of comes in and deals with that last little percentage that I think you just always need somebody outside your band. You need their opinion. You need someone to bounce stuff off of. So he's been really good like that. He also comes from the background of being in bands, so having his perspective, he understands what's going on between the five of us, and he really adds another element to it, which is great.
Yeah, as you guys can tell, I'm going to promote the hell out of this, obviously, all night long. It's on 11/7 Music. You guys have to check it out. If you guys haven't gotten it yet, definitely go out and grab yourself a copy. The rhythm section in Buckcherry has always had an interesting and unique sound since you've been in the band, Xavier. How's your style reflect that, coming into the band and having that, this distinct sound?
I think, my approach along with everybody else's was, we just wanted to write great rock songs. And, I've never been one of those crazy bombastic drummers as far as, technicality or whatever, and I just, kind of want to put it on the floor and leave it there. Give something for people to tap their feet to. And I think the style of music that we play kind of makes me play the way I play for the style of music. So, it works hand in hand. And then, Jimmy and I, we just want to create as solid of a foundation as we possibly can to let these guys, finish up the artwork. And so far, I think that's been working.
Definitely check these guys out. I call you guys the Warriors of Rock because you guys are constantly CD tour. You guys are a couple weeks into this tour out with Nickelback and 3 Days Grace. So you guys think you guys are winning any fans over? Because it's a different, element of crowd out there for the other two bands. Are you guys, bringing them over? Well,
it definitely feels like we're going out there and playing for someone else's audience initially in the first couple songs, but it feels really good by the end of the set. We've got people singing along to some of the new songs and songs they already know from previous records. So I think we are reaching some new people.
How do you feel? How does the crowd, do you think, respond to you guys?
Yeah, I think absolutely right off the bat. I mean, I think it's a little interesting. I don't think it really knows what to do with us. But then, by the middle to the end of the set, hands, fists are pumping, people are having a good time, and that's pretty much what it's all about.
Yeah. Influences for people out there who don't know exactly what you guys growing up listening to. What made you guys decide to get into rock in the first place? Can you tell us about some of your influences?
Wow, so many. I think early on, I really wanted. I grew up in a house where there was a lot of music, so my first rock records were like Kiss, Frampton Comes Alive, Back in Black, Hotel California. That was like some of the first rock that I remember getting the record and putting the record on a turntable and listening to. And it kind of really grew from there. You know, Kiss Destroyer was huge because everything about it, the way it sounded, the image of the guys on the front of the record, the mystery behind the band, you know, way before the internet, and you had to wait for a magazine to come out, or you really had to dig to find out about your band, and that was one of those bands that I was just drawn to, and really started the ball rolling for me.
What about you?
Yeah.
Influences growing up?
Pretty much the same thing. I grew up in a very, very musical household. Everything from Latin to, you know, my parents were listening to. My brother was way into rock. He was, you know, pretty much my first mention to rock, which was Toys in the Attic, and you know, ZZ Top, stuff like that. So I think that's what makes the band great, is because we have such a wide array of influences that everybody kind of brings their own, you know, flavor to the pie.
Now, today, if you guys were going to go out today and you guys are fans of music and wanted to go check somebody out, who's catching your eye right now out there?
I'm a big fan of the White Stripes, you know. I really dig those, what Jack White does. There's a band out of Atlanta called Blackberry Smoke that I've been listening to a lot lately. They're friends of ours, but their music's great. And so those are kind of the two right now that I'm kind of gravitating towards. Everything I love is really records that I've had for 20 years, 30 years. So.
X?
Same thing with Taddy Porter. You know, Blackberry's an incredible band. So guys like that, you know, they're coming up in the ranks and really, you know, have a really good sound and uniqueness to them.
Now, you guys are Harley guys, and you guys do a lot of rides together from what I know. Tell us, what was the longest distance you guys traveled, and what was the craziest story to come out of your travels?
Well, Xavier and I did a trip a couple years ago. We went from the east coast of Florida all the way to, we went ocean to ocean, basically.
Okay.
From Florida to LA. That took about a little over a week. Too many stories to even tell you on that trip. It was such a good time. I don't know. Geez, funny story. We travel so much. We see so much of the world. Whether it's when we're on the road, though, it's usually in a tour bus or a dressing room or backstage, and then on to the next city. So it was really nice to take some time and go across the United States and actually pull over and and do something and take some pictures. And it was a really good time.
I have a story.
Go ahead.
These guys decided they were going to ride up a gigantic dune sand hill, and Keith had his panhead and rode it up the hill, and because everybody was doing it, and broke his frame. So Billy and I, our friends, decided that we weren't going to tell him because we didn't want him to wig. So we got him all the way to California, and then we told him, "Hey, dude, your frame is broken." And he was like, "What?" So that was like the ongoing thing, because we would ride and we'd look at him and he'd be just smiling away, having a grand old time. And I'm like, "Yeah, it's still holding up."
Yeah.
So basically, if he would have fell over on the side of the road, it would have been like, boom.
No,
there goes Keith.
No, we would have never chanced that. So he was fine, but it was funny.
Some of your other interests outside of rock, like you were just saying, Keith, that you guys are just so busy, obviously, and then from record to touring to record. Besides riding your Harley, what other stuff are you guys interested in?
I mean, I'm a sports fan. I watch a lot of sports. It's a really great time of year right now because baseball is about to enter the playoffs. The baseball season is way too long. 160 games is way too many. But this is good now because the playoffs, you get to watch some really good games. And, of course, it's football season. And boxing. I try to stay busy with things that don't involve music so that I can take that and put it into my rock and roll, and take my rock and roll and put it into the other things that I like to do, whether it's physical fitness or art and some of the sculpture stuff that I've been doing. Just trying to stay busy.
That's
pretty much it. Drums and bikes. I don't really have much energy for anything else after that. So.
As everybody knows, Buckcherry is a heavily tattooed band, and favorite tattooed artist that you guys have. Do you have one, or you guys use multiple?
Well, I mean, the whole reason that this band is together is because Josh and I met through a guy named Kevin Quinn, who was tattooing the both of us. So I have to say Kevin's covered the majority of my body in ink. He's gotten me into positions that no other man has gotten me. And he's a great friend of ours. We all love that guy so much. So I'd have to say Kevin Quinn is my favorite artist.
Nice.
I'll back that up.
Kevin?
Absolutely.
Free publicity for Kevin, so right back for us, all right? For you guys, for the rest of 2009 going into 2010, what can the fans expect from Buckcherry?
We are going to finish this tour out with Nickelback and 3 Days Grace. That goes all the way to the end of October. We wrap up in Vegas, and then we're going to go to Europe for most of November and most of December on the Taste of Chaos tour with Disturbed and Papa Roach.
Okay.
And when we return from that, we'll take a few weeks off, and after the first of the year, we're looking at a tour, complete tour of Canada from coast to coast, another run through the States, South America, Japan, Australia, and probably the European Touring Festival next year in the summer. So it looks like 2011 is going to be just as busy as 2010.
Any comments on that? Looking
Wow.
forward to it?
Of course. I mean, we're lucky enough to do it, and we're looking forward to just taking it to places that we haven't been able to yet. So it'll be a good time.
Go check these guys out again all night long, and they're going to be on tour all year long, it seems like. So Keith, thanks for talking to us today
Thanks,
at
man.
BackstageAxxess.
Absolutely.
Definitely check these guys out when they come to your town. Thanks a lot, man.